Hello Divination and welcome. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to download and install our free header and footer for Divi's engineering firm layout pack. This is the final result we're aiming to achieve. So without wasting a lot of time, let's dive in and let's get started. All right, so to download and install our header and footer, what we need to do is to head over to this blog post, which I'll link to in the show notes below. So you want to scroll down here and click on Get It for Free Today. Add your email address and then click on download. Next, you want to click on download the files and the files will immediately download on the bottom of your screen. So what I'm going to do now is to navigate to this folder and unzip the file. So I'm going to show in Finder. So my file here is right here on the top. So in fact, you know what? Let me just delete these so we don't get confused. So this is our engineering firm header and footer template. I'm going to double click on it. And this is the file we're going to be using in a moment. So I'm just going to drag this over here to my second screen. Right. So what we're going to do now is to first of all, take a look at our site before we add our header and footer. So over here, we can see we have the default header that comes with Divi when you first install it. And this is also the footer that you get when you install Divi. But as you can see, there's more that we can do to make this look even more amazing. So why don't we go in now and do right that? So why don't we go in and install our header and footer template? Next, I'm going to click here on Divi Theme Builder. So what you need to do if you're on the main dashboard, you want to scroll all the way down here to Divi and then click on Theme Builder. Next, you want to click here on Portability, click on Import, and then you want to drag that file that we unzipped earlier on. And here it is. I'm just going to drag it over here. Now make sure you're dragging the unzipped file. Next, I'm going to click on Import Theme Builder Template. Excellent. So now you can see that it's here installed on the header and footer. So remember, we don't have a style to our header here. So what's going to happen now is when I save this and then over here, refresh the page, you're going to see a totally different design. And there we go. So now when I click here on Start a Project, this is our call to action button, which takes us to another page. But if I come over here now to my hamburger icon, this now gives us this beautiful, beautiful header where we can scroll or navigate to any of our links here. And we also have this beautiful navigation. But although this is an architectural layout, it doesn't necessarily mean that we can use it just for that. You can use this for many other types of websites as well. So now let me show you what the footer looks like. And I scroll down here, you can see we have this beautiful footer here on the bottom. So let's say you want to use this for a totally different website. Well, that is possible. So what I'm going to do now is to show you how you can go in and customize it. So back over here on our theme builder, let's start with our header. So I'm going to click on the pencil icon. This is going to take us into the builder. All right, so here we go. We can start now designing this by coming over here to section settings. So let's start with this area right here. So over here on the background, there's a few things that are happening. We have this image here. So if we wanted to change this image into a totally different image, you can just delete this and you can see now the image is gone. And when I click on this plus button, I can add a totally different image. And this is why we can use this on pretty much any type of design. So we can choose any one of these designs. So let me go with this one here so I can show you quickly what it looks like. So you can see now we have a picture of this dish in the background. So what you may also want to do is to change these colors. So I'm going to come over here and maybe we could use this red. But to add a bit of transparency, you want to drag the slider down a little bit so that we can see a little bit of our image over there, just like that. Okay, great. Now, what you may also notice is this gradient is placed above the image, and that's why we have this effect that we have right here. Okay, so I'm not going to commit to this. I'm just going to close out of here, but that is basically how you can go in and change the background image and the color as well. Next, let's take a look at these titles here. So if I click on this gear icon, it's going to take us into our text settings. So if I want to customize the text, I can just click on this pencil icon and you can see now that our font is already been chosen. So what we can do is change this to whatever font we want. But of course, I'm not going to change this. I'm just going to leave it as it is. And over here now is where we can change our colors. So you can see just by doing that, I've changed my color over here. You can also make it all caps if you need to, or if you want, you can change the size over here. So let's just save that. Next, so you have to go to each and every one of these and make these changes like that. So again, we're going to come over here, change that, save. Now let's say you want to change these icons. Now this is slightly different. This is a blurb. So you can see here we're in our blurb settings. So if you want to change the icon, you can just click over here, and this now takes us to our icon design. And when you scroll down, you can, add a border. We can pretty much do quite a lot of changes over here on the icon itself. Now, what is important here as well is to make sure you link this to whatever page you want to link it to. And to add the link, you want to come over here and add your link in here. So this is the module link URL. I'll paste it in here. So that's just my blank link. Then you can just hit save, and that saves it. Over here, we also have buttons. So I'm going to come over here, and again, you want to make sure that you link your button over here. And if you want to change the color of that button, you want to come over here to design button. And this now opens up our custom styles for our button. So for our text, we can change our color just like that, or we can leave it white. And for the background, we can also change it over here. So you can see just by clicking that, our colors are updating. So this is where you want to make sure that all your colors match the branding of your website if you do want to use this header and footer for a different. Okay, so that's how you change the styles of the button. I'm going to close out of here. Now moving on, we can also change this phone number by clicking on this gear icon, and this takes us into our text settings. And over here, you can just, update your phone number. If you want to change the text, you can click here on design text, and this is where you can change from Open Sans to, a totally different font like that until everything matches on your site. Now over here, we can also change our email address by clicking on this gear icon, and this again takes us into our text settings, and you can change your address by just updating it over here like that. But we're just going to keep it simple. Okay, let's go ahead now and save. Next, let's take a look at our social media icon. So if I click over here, it's going to take us into our social media follow settings. So let's say you want to add a few more social media icons. You can just duplicate the existing one like that, and then click on this gear icon and change this from Instagram to something that we don't have here. So let's say we want to add YouTube. So this is how we would add it. And as you can see, this is now consistent with the rest of them. And then finally, what you need to do is to make sure you link it to your YouTube channel. And this is how you would add it over here. Now make sure you do the same for the rest of the social media icons by clicking on this gear icon, clicking on link, and adding your link over here like that. Okay, so far we've covered quite a lot here. Let's save this. Now let's take a look at the top. So if you want to change the color of the main top area here, I'm going to click on background, and this is where you can change it. So you can see there, you can change it easily. If you want to make it to lighter gray, there we go. And that is how you update it. And then let's take a look at these lines. And again, these lines are just dividers. So you can see we're in divider settings. And again, if you click here on design, we can now go into the line and change the line color just by clicking that. Okay. All right. So I'm going to close out of here. Now we also have this button here. We say start a project. And again, this is a button. You want to make sure that you link your button to a page so that when your visitors come to the website, they know exactly where to click and where the button is going to take them. Okay, so I'm going to save this. So pretty much this is all we have here for our settings. Now I am going to close out of here. In your case, you may want to save and exit, but for now, I'm just going to discard and exit because I don't want to make any changes to this. All right, so moving on, let's take a look at our footer. So if I come over here, I'm going to click on the pencil icon like I did before with the header. All right, so first things first, let's go into our background. So I'm going to click here on background, and you can see this is where we get this main color here. So if you want to change that to a totally different color, you can just change it by choosing your colors just like that. Okay, so make sure you have your colors ready so that when you add them over here, it is very easy to update. All right, so I'm going to go with that color for the background. Now we also have these lines over here. Okay, so if we want, we can just totally get rid of them by just deleting it. But if you need those shapes, you can just leave them on. So I'm just going to undo that and close out of here. So that is how you change the background. When it comes to the rest of these links, I'm going to go into them one by one so I can show you what you can change, where you can change them. So let's start here with Office. So this is the address and this is a blurb. So what you need to do is to adjust your address over here. So you can see as I type, this is updating over here. And if you want to make further customizations to this, you can just click here and this will take you, and you can change your fonts here. You can see by doing that, it's updating our font. Now over here on the content, if I go back to my text, you can see the title here says Office. You can change this to whatever you want, and this is where you change your address. Now we also have the icon here. So if you wanted to change your icon, this is where you would come and change your icon. So let's say I go with this key, you can see this has updated. Okay, so I'm not gonna commit to those changes, so I'm gonna close out of here. Next, let's take a look at the next title here. Now this is just a basic text module, so you can just go in here. In fact, there's a typo here, so you can update it like that. And then over here on the design, you can go in and make changes to this text. So this is heading 3. If we want, we can change the colors, we can change the size, and so on. All right, next, let's take a look here at this other text module. So here, these are just links. So what you can do is to go to each and every one of these here, change them, and to this time to change the link, you want to click here on this chain icon, and this is where you'd add your link. And once you've added it, just click OK, and that will work. Okay, so moving on, we have our social media icons here. Now this is similar to what I showed you before. So the process is the same here. And what you may also do is add any social media icons that you may need here as well. Okay, so moving on, we have this contact form. So before we can use this, we need to go in and customize it so our emails are sent to the right email address. Okay, so now that I've opened this, what you need to do is to go to email, and this is where you'd add your email address. So I'm just going to add mine over here. So every time someone sends an email, this will now come to me. We can also add spam protection. So we can use a basic capture. This will ensure that you'll have less spam emails. Okay, so now that we've adjusted that, if you want to go in and change the colors of this design, all you have to do is to click here on design. So you can start with the fields, and here we have our fields background color. So if I do that, you can see that my color has been added. Okay, but I want to keep it transparent. And also, if you want to go in and change the borders, you want to scroll all the way down here to border, and this is our border color. So I can choose a different color like that. But of course, the color that we had before is the best for this design. So I'm going to close out of here. Okay, finally, over here on the bottom, these are all text modules. So if you click on this gear icon, you can go in and change all this easily. And if you want to update the font itself, you can just click here on design and go to text. And this is where you can go in and update your fonts. Okay, so pretty much that is how you go in and customize your footer. So there you have it. Thank you all for watching. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up and do follow us on our social media platforms. By doing so, you'll be notified every time we release new tutorials. Until next time, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.